But anyways, we have a little misfire we want to figure out. So tag along and see if we can figure out what's going on and what's causing the vehicle to misfire. We want to show you what the wear and tear is like if your vehicle go up on the road as a taxi. So if you don't know, if you remember how the vehicle did look when I buy the vehicle, may I put a link to the video there where you can click that and see how we go buy this vehicle and how much we did pay for the vehicle. But now I'm showing the condition of the vehicle now. Okay, so let me show you the condition of the vehicle. So yes man, so what we are going to take a look at the vehicle and what if you expect if you put a vehicle on the road as a taxi. So here's the first issue, the rear view mirror. I can say this is broken up and then put drywall screw in there. Not a fan of that. I don't know what's going on there, you see me. Also we notice we change the wheels on the vehicle. If you remember, we buy the vehicle with some 17s wheel and we put on these one because I don't care if these damaged. The 17s were really nice condition. I didn't want it to damage, so I just replaced them with these one. Also you can see the paint looking pretty good. Not the usual pan the paint is looking pretty clean. I'm thankful for that. And as we can see around here, look at this right there. You can see some damages there. You can see somebody fingerprint is completely just there on the vehicle. I don't know how they got that there. You see me? The overall front here is relatively okay. You can see a scuff mark right there. Also this was already there. I'm not telling you like that. Big one on the corner there was already there. You can see drywall screw is there. You see me and there. So there's a lot of little knickknacks missing from the vehicle. You can see the door handle is completely missing, you see me. But you know, we have to just give thanks, you know man. So anyways, the paint is relatively okay though. We can give you that, you see me. Also we can see a little scuff mark right there, the back bumper there. This is a project I want to show you how we buy this for super cheaper than the ISIS. May I keep it a surprise for now, but look out for our upcoming videos. We're gonna show you that in some other ones. But anyways, back to the ISIS, we can see yo, the overall condition is relatively okay. So as I said, the vehicle is currently misfiring now, sounds terrible. So want to hear it for yourself and I'm gonna see what's going on there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start the vehicle and listen. Okay, that didn't sound good. So I hope you can hear how terrible it sounds. It sounds like it's misfiring. It sounds like something is shaking. So we'll take a look at the engine bay. We'll see if we can see anything that is obviously not right there. So I don't know if you can see what going on right there. The whole entire thing is shaking. There is a whole heap of vibration. There's just everything is shaking. Also if you hear the engine sound healthy. Look at everything. Everything is just shaking. I don't know if the camera pick it up. You see me? Also we recently changed this oxygen sensor. So you can see it's a brand new oxygen sensor. So we can kind of roll that out. But what we are going to do, we're going to probably scan the vehicle first to see what's going on. But may I assume it's a misfire, so we'll see what's going on there. But I also wanted to show you guys, I want to show you guys this. So if you look on the RPMs right now, you can see it's right there. And if you put the vehicle in a drive, we can see the RPM drop significantly. Also, if you put load on the vehicle, like let's say AC or one of these things, we are going to see that the vehicle RPM drop even lower. So I'm going to turn on the AC there. I don't know if you can hear it. The vehicle sounds terrible. We turn off the vehicle sounds terrible. So I turn off by the AC, put it back in a neutral, and then we can see the RPM return back high, but it doesn't have any power behind it. So I don't know if you notice, if you try for rev it or none of these things will hear this one back sound. So we put in a reverse now and we are going to see the vehicle not have no power. You see me? So this is one of the things, it sounds terrible. So look at the front here again, because the engine is shaking. Everything in the engine is shaking crazy. Yes man. So we obviously have some form of a misfire here. You see me? So I also want to show another little trick when you can do, when you can get the tailpipe of a vehicle and listen. So if you listen and hear it sounds like that bop, that's a common sign of a misfire. So something is not firing right. You see me? So we are switch the vehicle off, we are put it in a park, and then now we have a suspect. We are going to use with intuition and try to figure out what's going on. You see me? So what we are doing, we're going to scan it first. Okay, so we grab a little cheap scanner and we're going to see what's going on now. You see me? So it's a little cheap scanner, but we can see select brand there. Boom, we are select that, and then now we can see Toyota. We're going to select that because it's an ISIS, and we're going to see what's going on. So we're going to read the codes and read false codes, and there, so we have a battery temperature circuit, temperature sensor circuit high. So there's something to do with the battery. That basically I said the battery temperature sensor is high. That's strange, you see me. So what me are gonna do, because it's the only code there, as we can see there's no other code there, what we're going to do, we're going to check the battery or check the voltage of the battery to make sure that the alternator is charging it. Let's see if everything is okay there. So that's what we're going to do, because that's the only direction we have right now. So let's go on the engine bay and we're going to check the battery box. So this is my battery pack. This is the top part of a battery pack, the battery pack that you normally use to jump start your vehicle. Usually on the top of it have a display where it shows the voltage of the vehicle. So that's what I normally use my one for, you see me. So we just put them on the battery terminal right there, and then we should be able to see the voltage. So as we can see right there, what is that? That looks like it's 11.9, and that is not good. You see what I did, because the vehicle should start anywhere, a healthy battery should be anywhere about 12.5 or so. So what we probably do, just to figure out if the alternator is actually charging the vehicle, you see me, is me I borrow the battery out of that one and put it in this one, because a vehicle can run without it alternating as long as the battery is fully charged. And since that one is charged, we're going to see if it's gonna run perfectly, if it's gonna run right. Alright, so I don't know if you can see, I want to look good. So if you look right there, we can see, say, yo, that is slack. So maybe that cause a battery issue, because you can see how slack that is, like my barely turns. But what I do, I still gonna replace the battery with the other one. So I replace the battery to see if the vehicle runs any better, because that battery is currently low, you see me. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove the battery. Simple thing, just pull off this here battery terminal, loosen that like that, and then simply do the next one like that. And then now all you have to do, just install the battery. Yo, so I'm just take out the battery. I'm going to show you this. Look at how busted this engine mount, this transmission mount officer is. It's completely busted, but we're going to let it stay for now, and we're going to reinstall the proper battery and see if that makes a difference in the overall running of the vehicle. So I've just installed the battery. We can see it installed there. So what we're going to do, we're going to test the voltage of the battery to see how much voltage this battery is now pushing. You see, so I'll have to do is just clamp on the negative plug right there and clamp on the positive right there, and we're going to check the voltage. As we can see now, that's a nice cool 12.6. so that's a good voltage for start a vehicle and for run a vehicle. So if the alternator is not charging none at all, even if it's not charging none at all, it should run off of the battery at least until the battery is dead. So in theory, if the battery is the problem, it should start no problem and for a little while run perfectly fine. So let's start it and we're going to see what's going to happen now. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear it, but it's still making the sound. You see me? It sounds a little bit better. I'm not going to lie, it sounds a little bit better. But what we're going to do, we're going to check the muffler and we're going to see if we can still hear the sound. So yes, man, I don't know if we can hear that pop, that sound. That is the sound of a misfire. So it's still misfiring. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the vehicle in a drive or reverse, and we can see the RPM is still falling or put in there. And when we turn on the AC, let's turn on the AC now and listen. You hear that sound? No, so I'm going to turn off that back. So it's still making the sound and it still sounds terrible. So what we're going to do, we're going to check the spark plug. So usually I start at the spark plug when I have a misfire, but just because we had the battery related code, I thought it would be good to check the battery and show you guys how to check the battery. So we can rule out the battery in for now, but anyways, since we have a misfire, usually it's one out of three things. It's normally either the spark plugs, the coil packs, or the injectors. Usually it's one out of those things when you have a misfire. So what we're going to do, we're going to check them. So this is how you remove your spark plug or your coil pack. So usually there's a 10-bolt hole in the coil pack down. You remove it like that, then you pull up on the coil, and then you remove the coil pack like that. So down in that hole, that's where the spark plug is. So you're going to grab your socket and your extension, and you're going to put it down in there, and then now you're going to pull and remove the spark plug. So you're going to do this for all four of your cylinder them. So just like that, you put in the spark plug tool, you put the socket on there, and then you pull it. Okay, so I'm just remove cylinder number 1 spark plug, and here it is. So as you can see, that's a spark plug right there, and it just come out a cylinder number 1. That's the one right there. So if I take a closer look at the spark plug tip, you see me, I can tell a lot. So you see how wet it is, and if you smell it, it smells like gas. So you know, so that means it's not igniting the fuel. So either it's not igniting or it's getting too much fuel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change all 4 spark plugs, and then I'm going to try it again. So what I did was I changed all 4 spark plugs. So I didn't put in new spark plug, I put in known good. So So these are not brand new, these are known good. These are the spark that I have laying around that I'm sure are working. So I put in 4 spark plugs. So if the misfire goes away, then I know it was a spark plug. If it remains the same, that means it's not the spark plug, it's either the injector or the coil. I have a suspect of what I think it is, but we're going to, when we reach there, we'll cross that bridge. But anyways, let's go in and let's go start it and see what's going on there. So we're starting it now, and as you can hear, it still sounds relatively the same. Yes man, it still obviously has a misfire. Everything in the engine bay is shaking, so we know it still has a misfire. You see? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna test the coil them next, and then we'll show you how we do that now. Okay, so this is how you test the coil pack. You see me? So you take out all of the 10 nut out of it and you pull them up slightly and listen. So you hear that, you hear the engine change, and you hear the current jumping. Listen again. Hear that sound? That's the sound of the current jumping from the coil pack. So that's a good coil pack there, and listen. You hear the current jumping and you hear the engine change. Let's try number 1. And if you notice we don't hear anything, try it again. No changes to the engine and no current jumping. So we got a bad coil pack right here. So that's our culprit right there. Okay, so since we have a bad coil pack, I took the liberty of buying a brand new coil pack. So here's the coil pack right here. We can see says nothing special. I don't think it's even genuine in a man, but you know, it will get the job done. So all you have to do now is simply pull off the plug off of the old coil pack like that, simple, and pull it out. You see me? So next up, we're going to install a new coil pack, and then we're going to add the 10 bolt, and that's about it. And now that we got all coil packs in, now let's test the vehicle. So we should have a good working vehicle. It should start pretty good now. So let's see right now. Okay, so we didn't even have to wait long. The vehicle sounds really good, really healthy. Yes man, it's revving really good. But the moment of truth, let's test the AC. And yes, as you can see, the AC is on now. It's blowing good, and the vehicle did not dip. It's still trackling pretty good, and it sounds really good. So let's go outside and see what's going on there. So yes man, as you can see, there's no excessive shaking. The vehicle looks pretty good. So yes man, it sounds really good as well. And let's do the muffler test. So as you can hear, it sounds much better. No pop. And I actually think we fixed it. So all it needed was a coil. We can see the RPM is looking really steady. The AC is still on, so there is pretty good. So we'll test the voltage of the vehicle and see what's going on there. Okay, so as you can see here, it's 13.5. So the voltage is pretty good. So I think we actually fixed it. So all we need to do now is run a quick test drive and see if everything's okay and it has power. Okay, so as you can see now, me I go up a really steep hill, and the vehicle has power. It's going up there, no problem, going up there pretty smooth. As you can see, the check light came back on. So what I'm going to do, I'm soon pull over, and I'm going to check the code and read the codes and see what's going on. But so far it looks like we're in the clear. You see me? So give me a minute, I'm going to just pull over and read the codes. Okay, so let's just turn up the ear and let's grab the scan tool. You see me? So we're going to read the code and see what's going on and see what triggered the code. More than likely it's the same battery code, and I'm not going to lie, I saw that battery code when I bought the vehicle from a very long time, so it's always been there. So more than likely it's that code, but let's see what's going on there. So we're going to go back, select brand again, Toyota, and let's see what's code. And the code, read code, I should say. Yeah, let's go read code, and we should see the codes there. So the battery temperature sensor, yeah, we saw that before. It also have 2 other code, acceleration sensor learning. Also I had that code for a long time. More than likely it's because we pulled out the battery, so more than likely it's that. So the throttle needs to be relearned. So more than likely that's the problem right there, but I don't see any other code, so I think that's it. So Okay, so the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna change the oil on the vehicle. So if you ever think of putting a vehicle on the road as a taxi, you're gonna have to change the oil regular, because I change the oil on this vehicle almost every month. You see me? So it's a good thing to know. I'm gonna show you how we do it right here. So there's the bung right there, simple thing right there. Most vehicle the bung is a size 14, so you take a socket and a ratchet and you put it on there like that, and you pull it like that. You see me? Super simple. You try to screw it out, and let's see if we can screw it out without making a drop of it touch our fingers. A pro time now. Let's see if we can do this. And we did it. So you don't know, so yo, we've been doing this for a while, not a drop of my finger. But anyways, we're gonna make that one drain, and let's go move on to the oil filter. So simple now. All we have to do is just turn the oil filter like this, and then we should see some oil pouring out. No matter how much of a pro my be, we can't get it without getting it on my fingers. So as you can see, there is curling down, but it's going pretty smoothly, as we can see. And there, the oil filter is off, so we're gonna allow that, let that go and drain a little bit. And okay, so now it's time to close the bung. You see me? So you want to screw and tight it like that, and then you want to use the ratchet and lock it. You see me? You don't want to go too tight on this, because you don't know, you don't want to strip the threading, because it cause more problems there. Also, a pro tip: when time you reinstall the oil filter, you want full it of oil, so you know, say it take less time for full that oil before the vehicle can circulate the oil in the system. That's a little pro tip, you know, man. Some people don't really believe in that, but me do it whenever I can do it, especially like how the oil filter go underneath the engine like that. Super simple, super easy. So after you full it up like that, all you have to do is just go underneath and screw it up like this. So you just want to make it untight, not really excessive, just untight like that, because you know, so you see one probably have to pull it back later, right? Okay, so I add some oil laying around. Me use a thicker oil, because you know this engine has a lot of wear on it. After a certain mileage, you want to start just thicker and thicker oil. So me use these oil right here. These are pretty cheap, and I had them laying around. So I decided, say, yo, me I go use them now. So all I do now is pouring the oil in the engine from the oil cap right there. Super simple, super easy. And as you can see now, we have change the oil. So that's something that anybody can do by yourself at home. Super easy, super simple, and you didn't have to pay a mechanic to do it. And one last thing you want to do when you just change oil, you want to check the oil. So while the engine is running, you want to look underneath it and check if you see any dripping or any leaking, because believe me, that's the worst thing you want to see. So as you can see, it's pretty clean, no signs of dripping, no leaking there. The oil filter right there is looking pretty good. Sometimes you still can see if it's running, that means you want time to come in, but in our case we're okay when you see no signs of leaking there.